This is the ultimate Verizon versus Visible versus US Mobile speed test video. As you may know, Verizon gets priority data on their network, whereas Visible and US Mobile, they both use the Verizon network, but they are actually deprioritized. What does this mean and how does it impact your performance? Well, in this video, we're going to be finding out. Let's start off by running a speed test using the Ookla speed test application. All phones will be connected to the same server, and let's start off with a baseline speed test to see what the speeds and performance are like on the Verizon network. First off, we have Verizon here. This plan does include 50 gigabytes of priority data, which means that it should have faster speeds than both Visible and US Mobile during times when the network is congested. However, Verizon Play More Unlimited is also the most expensive plan, coming in at $80 per month for a single line. Okay, Verizon finished with a download speed of 49.8 and an upload speed of 1.74. Let's see what Visible gets. And Visible finished with a download speed of 63.7 and an upload speed of 3.02. Faster than Verizon, very interesting to see. Now let's see what US Mobile gets. Now one thing I do want to point out is even though in the settings I have 5G turned on and I am in a Verizon 5G coverage area, as you can tell by Verizon and Visible, for some reason US Mobile is just getting LTE. So let's see if that changes during any of these tests. But for now, I guess I just have to run a speed test on Verizon's LTE network. Let's see what kind of speeds and performance we get. And there you go, US Mobile finished with a download speed of 50 megabits per second and an upload speed of 9.9 megabits per second. Now what's interesting is US Mobile just finished a hair faster than Verizon itself, and US Mobile had the fastest upload speed. But perhaps even more surprising is Visible got the fastest download speed at 63.7 megabits per second down. And it looks like US Mobile actually did connect to the Verizon 5G network, so I can actually run these tests again with a proper 5G speed test. Let's do one more baseline and compare the results. And here you can see US Mobile is being heavily deprioritized. That dip in performance likely means the Verizon network was busy when this test was being run. And here we have the second round of baseline speed tests. Visible actually in first again with a huge jump in performance. It got 76 megabits per second down and 5.53 megabits per second up. In second place, we have Verizon Play More Unlimited getting 48 megabits per second down and 2.38 megabits per second up. And in last place, we had US Mobile. Again, it was on Verizon's 5G network, as indicated by that icon there, but it only got 18.1 megabits per second down and 8.47 megabits per second up. And I do think this test was deprioritized. You can see their performance started off strong and then immediately dipped during the results. So I'm going to give them one more chance here to see if they can get a better speed. Wow, look at that deprioritization. That is amazing. And for this third round of speed tests, US Mobile actually came in first. I'm glad I gave them another chance because these results are super interesting. US Mobile in first place, 57.2 down. Verizon Play More Unlimited in second place, getting 42.5 down. And in last place, we had Visible, getting just 38.9 megabits per second down. And again, if you play back the speed test of Visible, you can see the speeds were increasing and then it was getting deprioritized. The speeds were slowing down as the Verizon network suddenly got busy. Maybe someone else was trying to use their phone on the network, and then gradually the speeds improved. Finally, I think two more key takeaways here. Number one, Verizon had the most consistent speeds and performance here. You can see the download speed graph actually started off a little low and then gradually increased as the speed climbed and then finished strong. So Verizon had the most consistent speeds here. However, Visible and US Mobile had the greatest speed variability. You can see Visible started off pretty fast and then was slowed down and deprioritized. And the same thing with US Mobile here. It started off, had a little bit of a dip, and then climbed towards the end. And if you recall, Visible got over 70 megabits per second on the previous speed test, whereas here it got just 38.9. And US Mobile, it got 18 megabits per second on the previous test, whereas here it got 57.2. So much greater variability in the speeds and performance on both Visible and US Mobile. With that said, let's dive into the speed tests of what you're here for, Verizon versus Visible versus US Mobile. And one thing I do want to point out is as we run these tests side by side, we'll see US Mobile and Visible split the available deprioritized bandwidth. So check this out. Side by side, we should see Verizon getting about 20 megabits per second, and these two plans, I'd say around 8 to 10 megabits per second. And here we are, Verizon getting just under 20, Visible actually getting some really fast speeds, around 10 megabits per second, US Mobile getting 7 megabits per second. But yeah, overall, it looks like the speeds are about a third when you're deprioritized on the Verizon network compared to Verizon postpaid. And the upload speeds very, very similar across all plans. So if you are uploading a lot of content, it does not look like there's any difference between these plans whatsoever. So let's actually do these side by side, one at a time now. Let's do Verizon versus Visible. Verizon launching ahead, getting 30 megabits per second down, and Visible getting just about 50% of the speeds here, around 15 or 16 megabits per second down. It almost looks like a perfect split between postpaid and prepaid. Postpaid getting 100% speeds, prepaid getting 50% speeds. And here are the results. Verizon in first getting 31.4 down, 0.92 up. Visible in second getting 17 megabits per second down and 1.12 up. Let's head over to Verizon versus US Mobile. US Mobile is basically the same as Verizon prepaid, so let's see what these speeds are like. And starting off here, Verizon again surges ahead. US Mobile not far behind though. Oh, it is dropping. Wow, it's dropping a lot. It's getting a sixth. It looks like a fifth. It's climbing a third, 50%, over 50. It's getting 2/3. Verizon finished, so that could have caused a surge at the end. That seemed inconclusive. Again, US Mobile continuing to get the fastest upload speeds of all of the cell phone plans here. Let's do this again, see if we get any different results here between the postpaid and the prepaid experience. Now, as these plans are running side by side, again, you can see that pretty big difference in speed and performance. Verizon finished getting 35.4 megabits per second down, US Mobile getting 12.4 megabits per second down. Again, just about a third of the data speeds. As for upload, it looks like there's no difference between these plans. US Mobile continues to get the faster uploads though, 3.55 up compared to 2.89 up. Now let's do what a lot of people are wondering. Visible versus US Mobile. Two excellent plans on the Verizon network at super affordable prices. Visible starts at $40 for a single line, US Mobile $45 for a single line, and both drop to as low as $25 per month when you have 3 or more lines on US Mobile or 4 or more lines on Visible. Of course, you can join my Visible party to get locked in at that $25 rate. And interesting enough, it looks like Visible got faster download speeds here in Longmont, Colorado, 31.5 megabits per second down compared to 28.9 megabits per second down. However, US Mobile did get faster upload speeds at 6.23 megabits per second up compared to 3.07 megabits per second up. Let's run this test again. Wow. Okay, second time around, US Mobile really pulled ahead. It got 2 times the data speeds of Visible, finishing with 38.2 down and 7.78 up, compared to Visible, 17.4 down, 2.13 up. Let's run this speed test again. Okay, third time here. Wow, it looks like there was a dip on both plans. That is definitely both of them being deprioritized. We had a postpaid Verizon network connecting there. US Mobile actually getting faster speeds the third time around here. It finished getting 27.6 megabits per second down compared to Visible getting just 20.2 megabits per second down. And it looks like US Mobile will continue to lead in the upload speed category, finishing with an upload of 4.36 megabits per second compared to just 2.97 on Visible. But either way, those were the speed tests. What about video streaming quality? Well, to test this, we can use the fast.com application, which connects to the Netflix servers and can tell us video streaming speeds. Here, Verizon pulled ahead 5 megabits per second. US Mobile also getting finished with 4.2, Verizon 4.4, Visible getting just 2.1 megabits per second. So with these data speeds, I think the official numbers are Verizon is capped at 4.5 megabits per second, which they say is fast enough for 720p video streaming. US Mobile officially says they have no video streaming speed cap. However, they are offering their service on Verizon, and it looks like Verizon just blanket caps all plans on their network at 4.5 megabits per second. So I believe this cap is coming from Verizon as opposed to US Mobile in terms of the backend network management. And visible is capped at 2.1 megabits per second, which I would say is closer to around 480p video. Let's run these one more time here just to see what the second round of results are. And there you have it. US Mobile actually got 4 megabits per second here. Verizon got 3.6 and Visible 1.9. Again, you should get about 720p video streaming on Verizon, and US Mobile Visible is more limited to around 480p. Now, the applications that stream video are not actually limited, but it's these data speed caps that basically determine how long you're going to spend waiting for your video to load, how many times your video may buffer during playback, and things like that. So if you wanted to, you could load 4K. It would just take an insanely long time to load. Now, one huge thing I want to mention is if you use a VPN, like my partner ExpressVPN, which you can check out at the link in the video description, you literally tap a button to turn it on. And now, if we jump into the fast.com application and we rerun these speeds, you can see the VPN will actually eliminate any speed cap on any cell phone plan and gives you full uncapped video streaming speeds so you can watch your TV shows and movies in up to full 4K quality. Verizon got 30 megabits per second, Visible got 18 megabits per second, and US Mobile got 16 megabits per second. If you're interested in streaming your favorite TV shows and movies in full 4K quality, sign up for ExpressVPN today. Use my partner link expressvpn.com/Stetson to get 3 extra months free when you sign up today. So there you have it. For more information on Verizon, Visible, or US Mobile, check out my website, bestphoneplans.net. You can find it linked in the video description. I cover everything you need to know about all of these plans, what features they offer, what the pricing is, what discounts are available, and more. Click the like button if you found this video helpful, and get subscribed so you don't miss the next video. I'm Stetson. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.